Hello, good afternoon. It is Friday. I'm not sure what the date is. It's April, I know that. And we have got, I'm Sarah from Black Sheep Wools. Leslie's laughing behind the camera. And we've got Jane with us. Jane Crowfoot, hello.
Hello.
Jane's a past master of our videos. I think we've forced this on you about 3 or 4 times.
Every time I come, yeah.
Sorry. We do this to people. Jane's been with us for 3 days this week. We had a lovely afternoon tea yesterday where we talked about her new Crochet Along with Starcraft.
Yes.
And Jane brought out lots of different blankets out of the bag yesterday, and we just thought it would be nice to have a bit of an update on what Jane's been doing since we last videoed her, which was Lily Pond, I think.
Yeah, probably was, yes. Yeah.
And just let you see some of the videos that elicited lots of oohs and ahs yesterday, didn't they?
The blankets as they came out the bag.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
this is one of my favourites. I see you with this at the shows.
Yeah.
It's one of our best sellers.
Yeah.
And I just think the way it's put together is incredible. So can you tell us a bit about the sort of inspiration?
Okay, so this one is a design I've called Persian Tiles, and it's a big blanket. Actually, we haven't got room to hold it up, but it's a blanket that's made out of an octagon shape that you can see here at the bottom, and my twist on a granny square. So I always say in my design, I don't do granny squares. It's not what I do, but this is the only design I've done that has got a granny square in it. But it's got a little twist in it, and it's got these crossed stitches. And this is a design that I came up with when looking at sort of Persian design and Islamic tiles and architecture and all that sort of stuff. So it's called Persian Tiles, and it's just a repeated block. This is a repeated octagon. It's made 16 times, and then you've got the squares in between.
It's one of those, it looks, when you see it from a distance, it looks really complicated, and I'm not saying a beginner would be able to do it. But it always put me off, and then when I actually looked at the construction of it, you think, you know what, I think you could, and I think because you repeat the motif, it would be quite easy to get into.
Yes, and what
what I
said to people, I was saying yesterday, when people ask me about tackling a project like this, obviously it's got a granny square, so that would be, I'd say to people, start with the square. But what I suggest to people is that they do each round of the motif 16 times over. So they do the orange first, and they do that 16 times. Then they do the next round, and it means that you're remembering the round, so you know there's 20 stitches or whatever. And then it also means that each of your pieces are going to come up the same size. Which,
of course, so intention can be affected.
So what I suggested, I think, to the ladies is, if you start a blanket in the summer when it's all lovely and sunny and you're feeling quite, you're sat on the veranda with your glass of wine, you might produce an octagon that is a completely different size to one that you're producing under pressure close to Christmas.
Funny, you don't think it can make such a huge impact.
Yeah, it does, definitely. And when you're making a blanket over the course of quite a few months, you need to just keep an eye on the tension of everything. So
bear in mind, I put things away, don't pull them out for months.
Yeah, that's the problem. They have to all be the same size.
I love the colours in this as well, and what I do love is you put colours together that I wouldn't in a million years think of putting together.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from really. I was sent it. We did a workshop here today that was playing with colour and playing with things. And I don't ever make any decisions about colour. I don't choose a palette before I start designing.
Right, okay.
So I tend to, I've got the luxury of having the whole palette, if you like. Yeah. So like if I'm designing with, when I did Frida's flowers, for example, I had a ball of every colour in the range. And then I start it and I just pick up a colour. And I think that's the key really, when people are choosing colours, is buy more balls than you think you're going to use, more colours than you think you're going to use, because you can always bring a bit back if you don't use it.
Yeah, true.
So that tends to be what I do.
The colours that you find repeat themselves in your designs, do you have a colour that you can't help put in?
Oh, it's probably bright green. It's probably that kind of green. It's in almost everything I do. Or, this one's got aqua.
Right, yeah, so it's
So there's usually an accenty colour. It's usually a bright blue or a bright green, I think. Yeah, it tends to be. Yeah.
And then this.
So, Frida's flowers,
This can launch this week. It launched on Tuesday, didn't it? And it just looks, you can see it. It is absolutely incredible. Do you want me to hold it up while you talk about it a bit?
Okay, so this is the new Crochet Along that I've designed with Starcraft. It uses the Starcraft Classic Cotton is what I've designed it in, but you've got the choice of different colours and yarns you can use. So it's broken up into fortnightly pieces. So the first piece was this one actually, which is the purple hexagon. which released on Tuesday. So, and it's a downloadable pattern from Starcraft website, and they're free, which is fantastic.
Is it every other week?
Every fortnight, yeah. So it gets progressively harder, so I designed it in a way that they get harder along. So when I designed it, I actually designed the middle bit. I think you can see the middle bit here. This is the first one I designed. I tend to design from the middle outwards.
Right, okay.
But people will end up doing that one at the end.
Right.
It's probably the most complicated. So you build up. Yeah, so they get progressively harder. And people can get yarn kits for it, so it's available in 3 different types of yarn. All stockable as, but also, I mean, they can use yarn from the stash as well. So that's really
and it's inspired by Frida Kahlo.
It is. She's a bit of she's one of my heroines. So yeah, I fell in love. It's based on her as a person more than her work. Yeah, because her work's quite quite graphic. Yeah, I love her work, but I mean, I couldn't have done a blanket with medical instruments in it, or
no, possibly not. And again, the colours are just incredible.
Yeah, so based on because I mean she was Mexican, so it's based on traditional Mexican sort of crewel work and artwork.
When you see them up close, they're just like works of art.
Yeah, it's like I really feel that this is I love this one. Yeah, it's one of mine, and it's the only design that I've ever known what I wanted it to be before I started it.
Oh right, okay, because you usually just play for a while, don't you?
I do, I normally just kind of play around and see what it wants to be, but this one I knew I wanted it to be.
I wish when I played around my blankets ended up like this. When I play around I ended up with a granny stripe or something. It is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a big investment of time. I mean, they take me a long time.
Yeah.
So it's
so from start to finish, what would the conception, the idea, and then?
Probably about 4 months.
And you crocheted, you crocheted this one?
Yeah,
we'll check it later.
With my crochet alongs, I feel it's important that I've made the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because then I know how it's been put together, how it looks. And for every piece that's kind of made it into the design, there's 6 or 7 pieces that didn't.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like playing with the balance of how everything works as well. So
when I first saw this, I saw the black and I was like, I don't want to use black. Yeah. When you see it on the pattern, you can just see the black just at its best. It looks amazing. It makes everything else pop out so much.
It was a difficult decision using black. It's the first time I've ever used black in design. I tend to go dark blue or dark plummy colours, partly because black's hard to see when you're crocheting.
Well, that's why I wouldn't tend to use it.
Yeah, as I say, I haven't used it before, but I felt for this it really needed the black.
It just makes everything else come to life.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes. So that's through to July if anybody wants to do that one, and they're all free.
Which I just think is incredible that you can get that type of thing free.
Brilliant.
And then this, which I showed to my 10-year-old daughter yesterday because Jane had it out and I've got a feeling I'm going to be making this.
Yeah, she wanted it, didn't she?
Yeah, she definitely wanted. She grabbed it and I did say to Jane, you better check that it's still in your bag in the morning.
Yeah. So this is a new one. I say it's new, it's kind of new and old actually. This is called Mystical Lanterns, and it's a design that I came up with because I really wanted to do this tessellating design, which again is a kind of Persian Islamic thing.
Yes, yeah.
And it took me ages to design it because actually making the shape fit itself is a really tough thing to do.
I'm fascinated by how you've done it. I was looking at it before.
It took me quite a long time. I came up with lots of very complicated ways of doing it, but actually in the end it's an easy motif. So I started off with this design in the autumn last year. I did shawls and scarves and things.
Which if you've not looked at them, you can see them on Jane's website and they really are absolutely beautiful.
But it was calling out for it to be a blanket really. So this is the new one. This is the Mystical Lanterns blanket. I think it's about 1 metre wide and 1.60 metre long.
It is quite
big, it's single bed. It should do a single bed size. And it uses the Starcraft Life DK.
It's 12 colours.
12 colours, yeah. You've got one colour that's the joining colour. I don't know whether you can see.
I really like this side of it actually.
See, the back is joined with the cream.
I really like that where the cream's almost a 3D effect.
Yeah.
I think it's really clever.
It gives a nice effect, doesn't it? So it could be reversible, or you could use that as the right side if you wanted. So that's a new one, and that will be out within the next couple of weeks as patterns and kits.
Exciting.
Things. Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah. So you've been busy.
Yeah, busy. It's been a mad year.
What's next?
I don't know. That's hard. I've got so many ideas in my head. I've got an idea for a design. I don't know whether you know about the Bloomsbury set. Vanessa Bell and Duncan Grant. They moved into a farmhouse called Charleston down in Sussex 100 years ago this year.
Is it 100 years ago?
Yeah, so I really want to do something with them.
So that's...
Bloomsbury.
That sounds really,
so
really
that's
nice.
kind of my new thing. But I've also got an idea. I want to do a blanket based on Delft, which is the pottery ware. You know, the Dutch blue and
the
green.
blue one.
Yeah. And then I want to do some designs based on my trips to India. So.
Blue and white one would be really nice.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. I'm working on that one as well. So
yeah. So when you get next time,
hopefully.
Jane's just talked herself into another video, haven't you? Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Nice to see you. And always lovely to be at
thank you. You always get a great welcome, don't you?
Yes, fab.
Yeah, we have lots of Jane groupies here. We really do.
Thank
or
you.
stalkers.
Oh, I don't know. No, thank you.
Thank you.